Good morning and welcome to our Hey Sis, Let's Get Certified webinar. Today, my name is Catherine Macon. I am the Marketing and Communications Manager here at WBENC ORV. We also have Angela Ruff. She's the Certification Specialist on our team who will be presenting as well. And then we have two lovely guests, Lauren and Pamela Brodus. I say that correctly. Broadage. Okay, yes. And they are of Splendid Events LLC, an event management company based in Louisville, Kentucky. So, really excited to have them present today and talk about their certification experience and how certification has really helped their business. Before we get started, we want to make this a little casual. So, if you could either come off mute or drop it in the chat and just let us know your name, your business, and where you're from, just so we know who all we have today. So whoever wants to get started, go ahead.
I'll get started. Hello, everybody. I am Lamonda Dye. I am the founder and CEO of LCD Agency Services, and we provide supportive services to consumers and providers in the healthcare sector.
Hi, Lamonda. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Catherine. I know I haven't seen you in a while. You too, Angela.
Anyone else want to come off mute or drop it in the chat? This is a safe space.
Yes.
Okay, we have one in the chat. Carmen. Hi, Carmen. She is the owner of Unique Flames, a homemade soy candle business. Very nice. I love candles, so I would love to get your website and see what type of candles you have. And anyone else? Okay. Well, if you don't feel comfortable now, you can always drop your info in the chat as we go along. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. Okay. All right. Can everyone see my screen? I can't
can
see
see it,
anybody.
Catherine. It's not in presentation mode though, but yeah, I can see it.
I'm not sure why it's not showing up in presentation mode, but it is on my end. Um, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So, we're going to begin the session by going over how to become certified webinar. So, this will give you a nice overview of our certification process before we hear from our WBEs on their experience. So, we're going to go through, give you more information on WBENC as well as WBENC ORV, that's our region. Going to go over supplier diversity, what is a WBE, the eligibility requirements for the WBE certification, the WBENC certification, and the WOSB certification. We're going to also talk about the benefits to being certified, the importance of our platform that we use, and then all documents required to submit your application. So, a little bit about WeBank. It is an organization that has grown to become um, the largest third party certifier of businesses owned, controlled, and operated by women in the United States, and a leading advocate for women owned businesses in corporate and government supply chains. WeBank is comprised of 14 regional partner organizations. You'll hear us refer to them as RPOs. That's just the different regions that make up WeBank. And they administer world class certification. So, our certification is very well respected all across the country, from our corporates to our government entities. They look for that certification when they want to do business with diverse suppliers. It's just an added reassurance for them. They know that those businesses have been thoroughly vetted, they're legitimate, and not only that, but they can do the jobs that are available. WeBank is a nationally recognized certification, and then there are over 18,000 WBEs across the country and over 14 corporate members. So over 400. I'm tongue tied today. Over 400 corporate members across the country. So a lot of opportunities to do business on the WBE side as well as the corporate side. And you're not just restrained to your region. So whatever region you're in, you will have to get certified through that RPO, but you're not limited to that RPO. So if you're in Ohio, you're free to do business, obviously, across the ORV network, but also you could do business in California, you could do business in Montana, wherever the opportunities are available that best line up with your business. So, a little bit about WBENC ORV. We are the premier resource for women owned business development, and our mission is to lead through innovation, collaboration, and an engaged group of corporates, government, WBEs, and advocates. We aim to be the catalyst for growth and sustainability by adding more corporate partners and WBEs in the Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia region. So, with that, we provide certification, business training and development, networking, and matchmaking. And within our RPO alone, we have over 1,000 certified WBEs. That number has actually grown a lot. So we are closer to 1,100. I want to say we have 1,079
Catherine, can I interrupt you
WBEs.
for a second? Can I interrupt you
Yes.
for a second? I'd
Uh,
like to ask the ladies if the slides are advancing for them because they're not advancing on my side. I can't see them advancing.
you can't?
No,
No.
they're not on my side either.
No, they're not.
I'm not sure why it's not. It is going on my side. Let me try this again. 1 second. Let's try. Can you all see it now?
I see it. It still doesn't look like it's in presentation mode, but yes, I see it. But your slide deck is off to the side.
Okay, how about now? It's in presentation mode now on my end. Is it in your end?
No.
No, it's not on my end either.
Okay, if I keep it like this, can you see me moving slides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, we're just gonna have to go in this way. Sorry, ladies, we got new technology recently, and we love technology when it works, but it doesn't always work. So thank you all for bearing with me with that. So I was just talking about WBEC ORV, which is our particular RPO, our region, talking about how we certify, provide business development and training opportunities, networking and matchmaking opportunities for the people within our region. We have about 1,079 certified WBEs in our region alone and over 70 corporate members. So lots of opportunities on the regional level and, of course, on the national level. So, supplier diversity, I'm sure we all have a good understanding on what that is. I'm not going to go through every bullet point, but I will do a high level overview. Supplier diversity is a business practice that ensures that goods and services are derived from a diverse supplier base. And it doesn't guarantee contracts just because businesses have supplier diversity programs and goals and you get certified through us, it doesn't automatically guarantee that you will get contracts, but it does provide you like a leg up in the process when you do go for those bids because they do have those programs that are looking to do business with diverse suppliers. And then having that WBENC certification is just another stamp of approval in the process. And then organizations, a lot of them do require that you are WBENC certified in order to do business. As stated before, it does provide a leg up in the process, not a guarantee, but very helpful. Does anybody have any questions before we continue going through? You all are always welcome to come off mute, ask any questions, stop us, or put it in the chat. Okay, so moving right along, 7 things to know about supplier diversity. Every state has different supplier diversity rules and regulations. So, as I stated before, you're not limited to the region that you're in. You can work with anybody across the country, but just keep in mind that they may have different laws and different regulations in the states that you're trying to work in. So being knowledgeable of that and making sure you fit in that so that you can go for those contracts. And then, as stated before, does it guarantee contracts? It does help you. WeBank is nationally recognized, but again, every state has their different rules. And then being a WBE is just one of the many ways to be a diverse business. Your city that you're in, your state that you're in, they have certifications as well, and they can help differentiate you in the process. A lot of people within our network have multiple certifications, so don't just think if you are WeBank certified, you might not have to get another certification, or another certification might work in conjunction with your WeBank certification. And then supplier diversity is not just goodwill, it's good business sense on all fronts. You are able to have supplier diversity goals in your business. We highly recommend WBE to WBE networking and collaboration because there are a lot of great industries represented in our network on the WBE side and lots of opportunities to collaborate there, in addition to government and corporate entities. So you can have those goals as well, and it's just really good business sense all the way around. Brings a diverse group of thinking, diverse results that can be really really fruitful in the end. And then what is a WBE? You've heard me say it several times so far, but it stands for Women's Business Enterprise. So the businesses are considered WBEs, not the people, even though internally we do refer to the people as WBEs because a lot of the business owners, they are the face of their business. So it's just natural for us to refer to them that way. But that is the business. And WeBank WBE certification validates that your business is at least 51% owned, operated, and controlled by a female owner or owners. And the Women's Business Enterprise, it's commonly referred to as WBE, that has been certified through WeBank. And as stated earlier, it's the business, not the individual. Now for the eligibility requirements, because this is really the first step in the application process, taking a look at what is required and then being honest with yourself. If you do meet the requirements at this time, if you don't, that's okay. That can be a goal if you would like the certification. But also, we understand certification is not for every business. And if you go through the requirements and say, it's not really me, it doesn't really align with what I'm trying to do, that's perfectly okay too. But this is the first step. And you all need to be a for profit, independent business, 51% owned, operated, and controlled by a woman or women. Female owner or owners are U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents. The female owner or other woman holds the highest office in the company. The owner displays evidence of legal and managerial control. Owner displays evidence of contribution of capital and or expertise, and the business demonstrates independence and the ability to function on its own. Also important to note, there's no size, industry, or length of time required for your business. So you could be a brand new business and get certified, or you can be in business for 20 years and decide to get certified. It doesn't matter just as long as you meet the requirements. And then WOSB. WOSB is the SBA's Women Owned Small Business Federal Contracting Program, and we actually provide that certification through WeBank as well. There are two ways that you can get certified. The easiest way, and I always recommend this to people, is to you can just add it to your WBE application free of charge. So if you decide that this is best for your business as well, just add it on your application and move through the process and get a 2-for-1. Or you could apply directly through the SBA. A little bit more cumbersome process. We always recommend the bundle, but if for whatever reason you decide to go a different route, you can always go through the SBA. The WOSB eligibility, it's the same as, overall, it's the same as WeBank. So you have to meet the WeBank certification first, but then you also have to meet an approved NAICS code and SBA size standard. The owner must devote a minimum of 30 hours per week to the business, and it must be registered in the Federal System for Award Management, so also known as SAM. And you'll also need to apply for a unique identifier in SAM. I understand that you have to get your unique identifier first before you can complete that WOSB application, so keep that in mind as well. And also, as I stated before, certification is not right for every business, and we understand that and we respect that. So, again, being honest with yourself, taking an evaluation of your business, looking at the products and the services that you target, taking into consideration if that makes sense to have the WBENC certification for that. Also, can your business provide quality service and or products on a large scale contract? If you're a smaller business, that just might not be your goal, and that's okay. And then, are you willing to share the details of your business? We do require certain legal documents to be submitted, as well as federal tax documents, and some people just aren't comfortable with that. And again, we respect that. And also, are you clear that the WBENC certification is a marketing tool? It does not guarantee contracts. So, keeping all of that in mind before you decide to move forward in the process. And we're gonna take a pause, see if there are any questions at this time. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Angela, I am going to pass it to you in a second.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Angela.
Okay, thanks, Catherine. Now we'll discuss WBE benefits. The benefits of WBENC certification include access to supplier diversity and procurement executives, formal and informal opportunities to pursue business, access to networking events, eligibility for regional and national awards, use of women-owned logo and business enterprise seal, and community support from other WBEs and that have like-minded professionals that have the certification as well. Next slide, Catherine. Thank you. The application process takes approximately 3 to 4 months. Hold on one second. To complete the application, once you go to the website and upload your application and submit it, then it goes through the intake process, the review process, and the site visit process. That's why we say allow 3 to 4 months before completion. Once your site visit is completed, we ask that you allow at least 30 days before you receive notification on a final decision as to whether you were approved or not. Next slide. The cost to apply for certification is going to depend on your business revenue. So there are 5 tiers. If your business is under $1 million, the fee would be $350. If it's 1 to 5 million, $500. 5 to 10 million, $750. 10 to 50 million, then your fee would be $1,000. And anything 50 million or more would be a fee of $1,250 to apply. Next slide. Confidentiality and privacy. So your information security and privacy is the #1 priority for WBENC. The WBENC Link 2.0 portal has several layers of encryption. Confidentiality agreements must be signed by all staff that are accessing your documentation. Confidential information is not shared. We are not allowed to share with anyone except the WBE and anybody that they assign to get information on their application. No documents or records are kept in hard copy. We don't accept them in hard copy. We suggest that you upload everything on the web, on the portal. And if you decide you don't want to pursue the application and you want to drop the application, then that information will be purged. But we do ask one other thing, that if you are going to be registering or applying for certification and you want someone else to have access to your information other than you, please make sure to put that contact person's information on number 17 so that we can release information if they reach out to us for information on your business. Next slide. So getting started, you would go to the WBENC Link 2.0 website, and this is the landing page that you will see when you're going to first apply or renew your application. But for anybody that's applying for the first time, this is the landing page. And as you can see, at the bottom of the page on the left, there's a box that says apply or renew. That's where you would go to get started. Next slide, Catherine. And this, of course, is going to be the dashboard that you'll see when you gain entry into the application. And it's giving you the arrow pointers are basically telling you where to go to get into your application or to get back in. And like if you have 90 days, some people don't enter all their documents at once. So if you need to go back in, this page here is telling you how to get back into your application to complete uploading your documents. And here is the page that will show you all your documents that you have uploaded before you hit submit, and then your application is sent over to us for review. I will complete the intake portion. And of course, if all of your documents aren't there, then you will get a friendly reminder from me that I need other documents. Okay, Catherine, next slide. So getting started, for the full list of documents, you can click this link here or follow this link here that will be provided in the slide presentation. I believe, Catherine, we do provide the slide presentation at the end of the meeting, so that link will be in there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So the legal documents that we'll require, some of them are the sworn affidavit when you're completing your application stating that all the information you're supplying is true and accurate. A user agreement will ask for legal documents such as your tax documents, your doing business as certificate, your W-2s, personal items that we'll need to justify if your business is woman-owned business. And for the full list, like I said, you can't click that link to get a full list of all the documents that will be required. Legal and governance, owner eligibility, financial structure, personal. And the easy thing to remember is that once you get through all the documents when you first apply, it's never that hard again. The annual renewal is very quick and very easy, and it's not as many documents required for the annual renewal. Next slide. So if you're a brand new business, what to send in for those tricky documents: all governance and eligibility documents, contribution of capital. And this sometimes confuses people, but what we're asking for on contribution of capital can be money that you contributed toward the business, sweat equity that you contributed towards the business, items that you purchased towards the business to help run it. So that all constitutes contribution of capital. We ask for 3 full years of federal tax returns, the 3 most recent years, and a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. Other things that may or may not apply would be W-2s, list of employees, payroll documentation, lease agreements, loan agreements, or send in a Word of document explaining why these things don't apply. So there'll be some things that'll be listed that you may say, these don't apply to my business. You can just put not applicable and submit a statement saying this is not applicable to my business. Okay, 10 insider tips for a quick and easy certification process. You want to create your profile, submit as many of the documents as possible, and you must complete it within 90 days, because if you don't, you have to start the process all over again. So you want to submit your application within 90 days. Make sure your bylaw agreements support female control. Have female owner review everything before signing and submitting the application. Pay the processing fee by credit card. You can pay by check. That takes a little bit longer to get your application started or processing started. So sometimes it's better if you can pay by credit card. You want to whitelist this email, WBENC link at WBENClink.org, so that it doesn't go to your junk or spam folder. Send all responses to Q&As and requests for documents as soon as you get it. So if you get an email with a Q&A from WBENC that's saying that there's other documentation that is needed, or there's questions that we have that we need you to answer, as soon as you see that, we recommend that you answer that right away so it doesn't hold up the processing of your application. We ask that you be flexible when it comes to site visits, because we do use volunteers to help us with the site visits. And so we ask that when they call you to schedule the site visit, that you're as flexible as possible to accommodate both you and the volunteer. And we ask once again that you remember the entire process can take up to 3 to 4 months. Next slide. Site visits. So WBENC requires all new applicants to have a site visit. Be as flexible as possible when scheduling with the WBE volunteer. The volunteer is donating their time to meet with you to go over your business. And the one thing to keep in mind is the WBEs that are conducting the site visits do not have access to your files. They are just completing the site visit on behalf of WBENC ORV. For questions on application status, please submit a support ticket in WBENC League 2.0. Site visits are being conducted virtually except for distribution, manufacturing, and if shared space with another business, not a WBE. So that means if you're a WBE sharing a business with another business or sharing a space with a business that's not a WBE, then a site visit will definitely have to be conducted in person. And if if WBEC ORV staff determines it's necessary, that's another reason we could say, well, we need to do an in-person staff visit because the staff may decide this visit is not to be held virtually, it is to be held in person. Okay. So what comes next? The certification can open doors to new business opportunities if you work your network. Show up to events, upload your certificate to supplier diversity portals, check out the corporate and government member online directory, market yourself as WBENC's WBE certified WBE, attend the summit and salute March at the national conference and business fair in June. And then also for WBEs, this is important, Catch the Wave is held annually by WBENC ORV. It's a very good event for our WBEs to attend to network with corporates and other WBEs. And you want to join the WBENC ORV committee to support programs, awards, certifications, and more. So the more involved you are, like Catherine said earlier, the more engaged you are, the better opportunities you'll have working with either other WBEs or working with corporates. Next slide. So this is your WBENC ORV staff. Lenise Smith is the executive director. Colleen Rudisell is director of certifications and outreach. Robert Moore is the certification manager. Catherine Macon, marketing and communications manager, and myself, Angela Ruff, the certification specialist. This slide will have all of our contact information or email information if you need to reach out to either one of us with questions regarding certifications. Okay, and this barcode, you can scan this barcode to get information about becoming certified. And I also like to ask at this point, if there are any questions that anybody has that they'd like to ask, come off mic and ask, or if they'd like to put in the chat to ask.
Thank you, Angela. We know that was a lot of information. So yes, as she said, we open up the floor to you all for any questions that you will have. No questions? Everything was straightforward? Awesome. That's wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well now we are going to hand it over to our wonderful speakers, presenters today. We have, as I stated earlier, Splendid Events LLC is joining us, and they will be sharing about their certification experience. Just going to run through their bio very quickly. But their business located in Lexington, Kentucky. They are a full-service meeting and event planning firm. They serve Louisville and the surrounding areas. They've done work with us, just a shameless plug. They have been our event manager for our Catch the Wave conference for the past 2 years. This is going on 3 years. So that's been a wonderful partnership that we've had with Splendid Events. They focus on coordinating events with style and elegance. They're experienced, organized, detail-oriented, imaginative, and have the expertise to make any meeting, conference, or event run smoothly and efficiently, and we can confirm that on our end. They've been in business for 14 years now. They actually just celebrated their 14th year of business, so that is wonderful. And they can do anything from corporate events, fundraising goals, help you meet those goals, large-scale weddings, or small personalized meetings. So Splendid Events LLC, they ensure that every detail is handled to the utmost professionalism. So thank you, ladies, for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Catherine and Angela. We are excited about today. We're excited about our WBENC certification. We were certified in 2021. When Angela said that you need to have your application completed in 90 days, I can attest to that. I started my application 3 times over the years. And until one day I got a call from our mentor, Alice Houston, was one of our mentors, and she kept saying, you need to get certified, you need to get certified, you need to get certified. We've done some events for them here, and we're actually based in Louisville. And then Sheila called and she was like, you need to get certified. And we were like, okay, we need to get certified. So I went in and made a conscious effort to complete the application. And though it's a lot of documents, it's not as grueling as you think. It's just, we had been in business for 10, 11 years at that time. So we had all of our taxes and all of the documents that we needed to prove that we are 100% woman owned. And so that piece of it came pretty easily for us. It's just a matter of organization because it is a lot of documents. It's a lot of documents. We did it during COVID. And so I think we were probably in one of the first waves of virtual certification. And so that worked out. And so as a result of our certification, one of the big things is that we were hired as the event managers for Catch the Wave. And that has afforded us many opportunities. But we have, like Catherine said, the first year we were in Lexington, Kentucky. Last year we were in Columbus. And this year we're in Cincinnati. So we're well on our way of planning this year's conference, but it does open so many doors, and Lauren's gonna kind of expound on that.
Okay, so since then, our certification has afforded us a lot of opportunities, and it has afforded us to build relationships with other WBEs and corporates. Catch the Wave, as Pam stated, has given us wonderful exposure. We get to just communicate and network with so many different WBEs and corporates while we're at the conference, even though we're working. We do get to interact with other WBENC affiliates or RPOs while we're on the road in other markets. And just to let you know, so since we've been certified, we have gotten other conferences because of it. And so one of those conferences that we just finished up in Indianapolis was the Mid-States MSDC conference, which was a referral from a WBENC national employee. So we just finished up that conference, and while being on the road, thank you, while being on the road, we do, once you're in this supplier diversity arena, you see the same corporations, you see the same people at these different conferences. And like, for example, we ran into the lady from Toyota that attends Catch the Wave, and she's like, you guys always do great work. So our certification has allowed us to build so many different relationships, no matter where we are. It's given us more credibility as a business within the Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana market. It has increased our revenue, which is a big thing for any business. So we've gotten so much more revenue just from our certification. Like I stated before, we do more conferences. Locally, we are referred a lot from anybody that needs an event manager, from corporations like Brown-Forman, a lot of different corporations. We are a part of a consulting firm, or going back to being part of a consulting firm here in Louisville, where they do, it's more for nonprofits and stuff like that, but it's a great networking thing for us. Yeah, so they focus on fund development, grant writing, and stuff like that. And so we're the event management piece of that partnership. And then we have also encouraged other women businesses in our market to get certified. And one of those is currently serving on one of the boards, or not one of the boards, but one of the committees for Catch the Wave. So it has done great things for networking for us.
And now it also forced us to put together our capability statement, which, you know, in that corporate arena, that's the first thing they look for to see what our bandwidth is. And so I think what it has really done, we have opportunities to do webinars or participate in things that help us build our business or help us make our business better. But it has also given us so much credibility. We didn't even realize one thing that I know when Catherine went through our bio that we've got to take out now is when we started out, we were very, very wedding heavy, weddings and private events and smaller meetings and just over the last few years, it's evolved to the point where we have 2 this year and we will no longer be doing weddings at all. Our revenue has, like Lauren said, it has increased greatly, and we're just really thankful. WBENC certification carries so much weight. And we heard at the conference last week, and I'm hoping that's the case, but that there's a possibility that WBENC and Minority Supplier Development Council, that national, that there may be some reciprocity and they may start to recognize each other's certifications. So things like that would just be amazing, but we can't say enough about the rooms that we've been in as a result of our certification.
Yeah, and the resources that you have access to once you get certified is astronomical. So it's definitely like the gold standard to be certified through WBENC.
That's wonderful. Thank you both. I learned something new about your businesses as well. So that's great. And thank you just for giving a glowing recommendation for the certification. We do appreciate that. Do you all have
Yes.
any questions for our guests? Please feel free to come off mute or drop them in the chat, and you can ask them anything about their certification process.
Well, I have a question and I want to make a comment. I am so happy that I reached out to you guys. You guys were one of the first to respond to me, and I was so happy because being the newest chair, very nervous about my leadership, right? So I just said, what do I have to lose? I'm just going to email everybody and see, and see what happens. So I thank you guys for not making me look crazy. But since then, I've gotten other responses too. But I really do thank you guys for responding. But I do have a question. Do you guys have any specific tools or measurement tools that you use in your business or as business owners to leverage your membership when you are speaking to other WBEs? Do you use your elevator pitch, or do you just kind of, I don't know, with corporate maybe ask who's the who's, and then try to get in that room? How do you guys, do that? Or do you have some tools that you use to leverage your membership?
We do have a elevator pitch that for our particular business. One of the things that we did in addition to, before we got certified, we actually hired a business coach. We were about 10 years in business, and we had taken the business about as far as we felt like we could. And so we did work for several years with the business coach that really helped us. And the thing is this, you can get the certification, but once you get it, you have to deliver. And once you get in the room or you get that contract, then you have to make sure that you put your best foot forward. And so we have, when you say tools, I think our capability statement is probably one of the biggest things that we put together or during the certification process, because the corporates look at the NAIC codes to make sure of which area that they can use you in. and put towards their diversity numbers or goals. So that's, there's pots of money that are set aside just for WBEs and MBEs and but one thing I learned today that I think we need to go back and take a look at, we've never done the WOSB certification. We've never included that in ours. And so we probably, can we do that? Like our certification was in December. Can we do that mid-year, or do we have to wait until our next round?
I believe it. You know what, Pam, let me get back to you. I believe you can go ahead and do it, but I'm not sure if it's waiting until your next recertification comes up. I'll get clarification for you and I'll email you as soon as we're done with this meeting.
Okay. Did I answer your question, Lamanda?
You did.
And thank you so much for reaching out, because it was inviting, and I'm just like, yeah, we'll do that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I would like to give a little tidbit about the with the WSB certification. I am going through it now, and to get that unique entity number. SAM is a little tricky, but don't let it discourage you. I like to call people. So I picked up the phone and I called them, to walk through it, because I was working with Robbie and he's been very patient with me. But it seems like with SAM, there's a gap, within their workforce. So sometimes when you scan your documents into them for proof of your business, they're not getting to who they need to. So you may have to call somebody, or else it'll be a lengthy kind of process, and it shouldn't be.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Sharing knowledge. This is great. Any other questions?
I got clarification. Catherine, I just got clarification. So okay. You do have to apply for the WOSB at the time you're applying for the WBE. They can't do it mid-year.
Okay, that's fine. I'll wait till December.
It'll be here quick. It really will.
Keep it busy, I think, between now
and the good thing is, Pam, it'll be free. It'll be just in addition to your WBE certification. You don't have to do it through SBA.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but definitely has boosted our credibility, and we appreciate that. Like I said, when Lauren was talking about, we were in Indianapolis last week, and we ran across several people that were part of WBENC, and and they recognize us as being certified WBEs in addition to just being the event managers.
That's wonderful. I didn't realize you all got some of those businesses based off of your WBENC certification. So
the guy that was the interim president at the time at at Mid-States, was at the WBENC conference in Nashville last year. And if you all recall, Pam was at our Catch the Wave the year before, and then there were some other people, and he was just talking about that they're growing and need, they were going to have to look for an event manager, and and then he was told, oh, you don't have to look for one, we've got the best in the Midwest. So we were
that's wonderful.
And that's one of the benefits of networking and being at all the events.
It is. That networking piece is invaluable.
Yeah, and also, that's one of the things that we advise is always the network. And that was something that really kept us strong here in the Louisville market, is our networking capabilities. And I sit as president of one of the networking groups here. So it's a lot.
Actually, Catherine, you came to that showcase.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You did, Catherine. Yep.
Network of
at the Muhammad Ali Center. Yeah.
Lauren is getting the what they call the Elgin Award this year. So she's the award winner for that particular this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was
so
shocked.
Carmen, you will learn that in our network, we really do celebrate our WBEs. And in our newsletter, which if you're not subscribed already, we highly recommend that you subscribe to our newsletter. You don't have to be in our network to subscribe, so you're free to do that now. And we put out a lot of information on upcoming events, different programs and initiatives available to our network, but also success stories. So, Lauren, I had to put that in the newsletter about your award and also your collaboration on your recent event. That's a success. We love to highlight things that our WBEs are doing in their business, in the community, and if they're working with our corporate partners or get opportunities with them or working together with WBEs, those are all successes. So please subscribe. And if you do decide to get certified, Carmen, send us any successes that you have. We love to highlight it. Wonderful. So if we don't have any other questions, we could give 9 minutes back to you all. I want to thank everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. If you're new, getting the information, thank you for taking that time out to learn more about WBENC ORV and what we're about. And thank you to our presenters, Lauren and Pamela. You all were wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes. And thank you, Angela, as well, for sharing the certification knowledge with everyone on the call. So
You're welcome.
if there are no more questions, everybody's dismissed. Have a great rest of the day.
Hey, ladies.
Bye, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.